Endrew F is a landmark case. We had not had a similar Supreme Court change in how we evaluate free and appropriate public education since 1982. Now, you do the math, that's a long time. And in 1982, we had the Amy Rowley standard that has been the bar of how we've measured appropriate in schools and courts ever since. And Amy Rowley, that case wasn't the best case in my opinion, and it was actually about related services. But what got established was this: it did set a precedent that you needed to provide educational benefit to children, which was positive, but it set a very low level, and essentially the term merely more than de minimis came from that case. So essentially, if it was litigated or parents were pressing about whether or not the schools were doing enough, they knew all they really had to prove was that it was merely more than de minimis, that they're given something, there's some benefit, but as the justices had pointed out, there was nothing in the law that said how much benefit. You didn't have to maximize their potential. And what Endrew F did is, in my opinion, it's my personal opinion, you had the Rowley standard here of merely more than de minimis, and then you had maximizing potential up here. And Endrew F came somewhere in here and said, it's not enough to do merely more than de minimis. You have to confer educational benefit. You have to have reasonably ambitious goals. Every child has a right to have goals. And in the case, it was a child who had been in a program for several years. The parents were not pleased with the progress or not pleased with the lack of progress. The school essentially, with good reason in their minds, stayed to the Rowley standard of, hey, we're providing something. Courts don't say how much benefit has to be there. The parents said, you know what, we're going to go somewhere else, put the child in a private school. The child flourished. The parents could prove they made progress, and then the court said you have to pay for that private tuition.